Well, here we are at the Yamaha SX900. An incredible little powerhouse of a keyboard. It's always referred to as Baby Genos, and I can understand why, because it really is a baby Genos. It's got the touchscreen capabilities, it's got the fabulous sounds, it's got pretty much most of the style controls. It's just a little bit less content than you will find in the Genos or the Genos 2. So today I'm here to show you how to use the SX to create a new style. I've always used Genos or Genos 2 to make styles, and the SX900 has exactly the same capabilities and functions as those two incredibly powerful instruments. And it's incredible that this little portable pick up and go keyboard has everything that you need to get yourself going. Right, so the first thing is we are going to press menu over here on the right hand side, and the screen will change to this. Now we want to go to menu page 2 and select style creator. Okay, this then takes us into the style creator page, and at this option what you need to do is we need to start with a clean slate. So we're going to press initialize style just towards the bottom, and that has effectively wiped everything that the keyboard can do. So if I press start, it doesn't actually do anything, just hear the metronome. There's absolutely no backing coming from the keyboard, which is just exactly what we want. So then we go to tell the keyboard how many bars we want to record for our style. So again, on the same page, on the basic section, we tap where it says pattern length and we change that to say 4. Okay, in this case I'm making a style with 4 bars. Then I go to my record channel, and now as you can hear it defaults to the drum set. So I can now at this point, if I so wish, record my drum pattern in. So I'll simply turn on the metronome, which again is just a little icon on the screen, press the sync start button, and then key in my drum pattern. There we go. I can go to channel edit, and I can then choose quantize, and it will tighten my timing perfectly. So now if I go back to record channel, I can start to put the bass drum in. Go. If maybe I've accidentally pressed the note twice, I can then go to the channel edit, remove event, and remove duplicate notes. So it'll take out any duplicate notes where I've accidentally hit more than one. And then I can go quantize again, and it'll now tighten up my kick drum, my bass drum. Then if I go back again, now I can put a snare in, and this is how you build up your kit. So let's start from the beginning. 2, 3, 4. Okay, that's in there. I can tap quantize again and it will tighten that up. Now if, for example, that sounds a bit loud, I can go to, again let's show you the screen, I can go to record channel, and I can go to drum setup, and I can either do it one of two ways. I can reduce the volume of the snare, maybe change the reverb level on there as well. Okay, so we've got that. Or I could go into step edit, which is another option, and change the velocity for each note. So for example, that snare is 82, I can dial that down to a 51, or I can go back and change it back to. Oh. Let me just change it because I've set the wrong note. Hang on a minute. It should be a snare. There we go. Oh, hang on a minute. Change it to snare. There we go. Or if I've made an absolute arse of this, like I have done here, I can go back and re-record it again. I can just simply delete the instrument that I want to by clicking clear drum instrument. I press the note that I want to get rid of, and that's the kick and the snare. And then I simply go back and re-record. 3, 4. Remove duplicates. And just simply go to quantize, and everything's back. So if you do make a bit of a mistake or a mess, it's very easily fixed, because you can just go in and edit and change things. The quantize is one of the key things that you'll probably find for drums, or maybe you're sort of a little bit behind on a few notes when you're playing the melody. Right, so now we're going to go to bass. So I'm simply going to highlight the bass and press and hold where it says bass, and it'll turn red. Then if I tap the piano, I then can go and pick a bass. I can pick whichever voice I want. That's quite nice. Okay, so I can now go in and record a bass line. I don't like that. I can simply delete it. If you see the delete button below the guitar, if I press delete, it says delete. Yes, it's gone. So now I can re-record the bass. So now I've got bass. I'm just going to quantize that so that that's nice and tight. And then I'm going to go to record channel again on the main panel. And I'm going to go to phrase 1. And I'm going to pick a guitar voice. Let's go to guitar. I want a strum guitar sort of sound. Right, so that's the phrase I'm going to record. Now, I'm playing everything C major. Now, what you need to do is you need to record it with a major 7th. Because when you change your chords with the left hand, the keyboard will then automatically calculate and fill the gaps. So okay, that's the phrase. So that's the phrase I've put in there. I can adjust the volume of that if I so wish. I can do that at any point. So simply go mixer, go to the style control, go to volume, and I can just adjust the volume of that guitar. Come out of there. So now if I actually escape, come out of there completely, it'll say close without saving, which you can do to test the style. However, if you go and pick a different style at this point, it will forget what you've done. So when you've done this and you've just tested it, go straight back into your style edit. And now I can play the chord. You see it's playing a major C chord. Play G chord, it follows. Okay, so go back into Style Creator because I'm continuing my style sort of journey, build. I'm going to record a piano now, so pick a piano. Right, okay. Same rule applies. I have to play a major 7th. So delete the major and record as major 7th. And again, if I go into mixer, I can change the volume of that particular piano voice. Change that. There we go. Now that guitar sounds quite lonely, so I'm going to bring in a second guitar to thicken. So I'm going to record on the second phrase part another guitar. Find one that. Now we've got quite a warm sound for the first one. That's quite nice. I'm just going to adjust the volume on phrase 2. Right, okay. Okay, we've got a little phrase. We've got a little phrase. Quantize that little phrase. Close. Excuse me. Right, so come out of there, close without saving, just to test. We have our first variation. Brilliant. Right, this is where it gets fun and a little bit easier now, because if we go back to the screen, I think I need a drink. Okay, let's go back to the screen. So we are going to menu Style Creator, and we are now on the panel on here going to choose variation B. Now at the moment there's nothing there, just the metronome. So what I'm going to do is go back to my screen here for Style Creator and go to Assembly. Now what I can do is copy all of the parts from variation A to B. So where you see where it says main B, at the moment that's what we are telling the keyboard we want to record. So all I do is tap where it says main B and say copy from main A. And I do this with every single section. It would be so much easier if Yamaha added a button that said copy all parts, but no, it doesn't. So that's something we have to put up with. Main B, main A, main B, main A, and do the whole thing, everything across. Now our variation B, when I start the style, should sound the same as variation A. Variation A. Variation B. We've copied the style over. Now this is where we have a bit of fun, because we can change some of the parts. We can turn the guitar off. Excuse me, that's a terrible cough. Okay, so now maybe we want to record a choir. So let's put some oohs in there. So I'm going to go to pad. Let me just show you on the screen. And I'm picking the choir and pad, and I want an ooh sound, and there must be an ooh in here. Wow, girls ooh, there we go. Right, okay, so I'm going to hold the chord down for the ooh and press record. Now, I've purposely done this on to show you basically one of the pitfalls when you're doing this, because I automatically would have assumed, and I expect Yamaha should have done this, variation A, I told it was going to be 4 bars. However, when I pick another variation, the keyboard seems to not remember that I wanted 4 bars. So where it says basic, I have to go back again and say 4 bars. And then press execute. Okay, and then because I've made the terrible mistake, bad boy, of doing what I've just explained, it's basically a quirk. The keyboard doesn't follow each variation and say, well, I know that one is variation A and it's 4 bars, so therefore I'll copy 4 bars into B. Oh no. Not that easy. So you have to go in and tell each one of the variations how many bars it is. Now it's a good idea before you go anywhere else to do that on every single one. So I'm going to do that for 3, variation 4, or D. 4 bars. Execute. So now 3, 4, execute, and that's 4. But because I've copied everything over from A to B, and this is where you need to get your head around this, everything in A was squished into 1 bar. So you only get 1 bar of variation A. So if you listen to B, it sounds weird. So the easy way to fix this is go back to assembly and actually go and change it again. So instead of it being A, go B and then back to A. So you're kind of undoing and then redoing what you wanted the keyboard to do. Like I said to you, I needed to show this because there's so many people that I've sort of spoken to in the past have said, well, it doesn't sound right because why? And this is why. There we go. So now it sounds identical to variation A because I've told variation B it's 4 bars. If you don't do that, you're going to get this weird 1 bar looping sort of pattern that's going to sound crazy. There you go. Right, so now the fun can begin because we can sort of now delete those guitars and we can do a second variation. So the first variation, yep, so that's what we're wanting to do. So let me just change this. There we go. So on variation B, I'm going to remove those 2 guitars. And again, let me just show you the screen. To do that, you just hit the delete underneath the guitar. And it'll say, do you wish to delete? Yes. Okay. So now I can press the phrase 1 and record a different instrument if I want to. Maybe I want a guitar, but a different, maybe an electric guitar. So I can okay, so if I come out there now, you can see I've got a different phrase. So variation A, variation B. Now it does need some sort of acoustic guitar back in there, so I'm just going to go back and record another acoustic guitar. Guitar, dum-de-dum-de-dum. Let's pick steel guitar. Okay, and again, just slightly adjust the volume because it's very loud. So that's ticking away merrily. If I just come out of there for the time being, just to show you how it sounds. So maybe I want to go back into Style Creator now, and on a different channel, maybe on chord 2, I want to record a French horn. That sort of. Let's find a French horn. Okay, let's try that. Adjust the volume because it's a bit loud. We don't need the French horn anywhere near that loud. Okay, it's starting to sound complete. Now in the pad section, I'm going to record some strings. So again, I'm going to go to my Legacy folder because there's some nice pad strings in Legacy. On page 3, strings pad. We've got Allegro. we can go slow strings. That's nice. Let's go slow strings. Just adjust the volume a little bit because again it's too loud. And remember to record a C major 7. 3, 4. And then stop the rhythm. And again, let me just show you the screen where we are. So now we've got rhythm 2, we've got bass, chord 1, chord 2, pad, phrase 1 and phrase 2, all playing. So if I just come out of there at the moment without saving, I can now play. Now those strings are too loud by miles. So if I'm just going to go back into the style again, as you can see, go to record channel, variation B, highlight the strings. That's what we want to adjust. Just go to mixer and bring the volume down a bit. Just adjust that guitar as well. Bring the acoustic guitar up in volume. Right, I'm happy with this so far. So now I'm going to click save at the top. And go save here and call it new style 2. Okay, right, so now if I come out, I can go variation A. Now, one of the things that you will notice, if you're doing the drum pattern, and particularly this style, because it's only 4 bars, having that sort of little soft fill at the end of the 4th bar, it becomes very monotonous and tedious. So I'm going to go back in, menu, style creator, I'm going to go to record channel, and on my drum, which is, let me just show you the screen, see, my little red rhythm 2 is highlighted. I'm going to go clear drum instrument, and I'm going to press the 2 keys. That's the kick drum, that's the snare, and they are now gone. If I come out of there, no kick and no snare, and I'm not going to re-record, but I'm not going to put that little fill in at the end of the 4th bar because it's sounding really annoying. So let's go. Okay, that's sounding much nicer. So now I'll just save that, quantize it, save here, okay, yes. All saved. Now when I play, I've still got it on variation A, so when I go back to variation A, I know that I'm going to have a little bit of a fill, but then I can go back to variation B. Right, that's sounding really great, and I'm already in 2 variations, so I'm going to go to 3rd variation now. So I'm going to go menu, style creator, back into the magic screen that you're starting to become familiar with. Then I press on the main panel variation C, and just so you know what I'm doing, pressing this here, look, C. Make sure you press it and it lights permanently. If you press it and it's flashing, that means you're in the fill-in section. So what you would record would, when you're seeing that little red light flashing, is actually a fill-in. make sure it's lit permanently, and that's the variation. So now I'm going to do the same process that I did earlier. I'm going to go back to assembly. I'm going to go main B, and I'm copying everything over from main B. And if you remember, I told main C that it was 4 bars earlier, so this should not have the same problem that we had before. It's all about showing you what can go wrong and what can go right, because a lot of people just gloss over the things that you don't necessarily sort of know, and then it'll come back and bite. You think, why is it doing this? And you don't understand. So make sure, as I said before, when you go to basic, make sure it's 4 bars. Every single variation you need to say is 4 or 8 bars, depending on whatever you're doing. But 4 is the sort of the common, very basic. Right. Okay, so now we've got everything copied over from B, from variation B to C. So if I go to variation B, variation C, it's all copied across. It's basically bouncing across the variations. So now we can go in and record another part to the drums. So if I want a nice tambourine maybe in there, I can do that. I can also go to drum setup and increase the reverb on that drum. Let me just show you. So to get to the drum setup, make sure that you're on record channel 1, rhythm 1 or rhythm 2, and then press drum setup. And then here you can see all of your instruments and all of the instrument reverbs as well. So I've increased the reverb on there. So now if I come back out and start to press record, okay, that's recording. Maybe I want to put a little bongo in there. And again, quantize, make sure everything's nice and tight and in time. And there we've got a nice little variation on the rhythm now. Right, we're happy with that. Okay. So now we have got 3 variations. And again, if I come out, close without saving. Variation C. Okay, you've got the gist now. We've done 3 variations. I would then go on to do the 4th one and maybe bring in a trumpet or an electric guitar or something else. It's entirely your own choice. Generally, listen to the original track if you're making a style for a song, figure out what instruments are being used, and then put them into your style. Now, intros and endings. This is where it gets really quite creative, because I can go in now, I go to record channel, and I choose on my main instrument, let's do intro 3. Okay, now this is how I work. In my head, I have a melody, so it's a major key. So let's record a nice phrase. So let's go 8 bars for the intro. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ooh, 8 bars. Execute. Right. So now, if I press sync start, it'll start to get ready to record, and I'm just going to play a melody for 8 bars. Two, three, four, and then my rhythm would start. Right, okay, so let's put some drums in now. So record the... Okay, that's a bit of a slip up on my part. Let's record again. Okay, and it just repeats. It's like a looper. It effectively is a chord looper. And then we can pick a bass. So choose a bass sound. Right, okay. Okay, and we're just going to quantize. Oh, not groove, go quantize, execute. And okay, and I just quantize that piano as well, which is the... In fact, I don't need to do that because I'm going to actually, in the end, remove that piano. Right, so I'm now recording a guitar phrase. Because again, in my head, I can hear a guitar strum, so I go to guitar. I want a nice steel. Right, okay, let's try that. No, don't like that sound. Let's go with that. Right. Just quantize. There's a problem with that bass. Let me just delete that bass and re-record the bass. I don't like the... Let's try that one. No, it's too wishy-washy. It's too thin. Let's delete that and go find a different bass. Nope, we don't want something synthy. This is one of the things with the SX900. There aren't a massive amount of bass voices in it. So you can... We'll go with that one and see what that sounds like. Do you know, technically I actually hate this intro. Let's record a different phrase. I don't like it. It sounds too much like something that I know, and I don't like it when it sounds like another song. Sounds like something from the Pet Shop Boys, and I'm not doing that. Right, okay, so... What should we do? What should we do? Let's try this. It's a possibility. Let's try recording the bass. that's nice. Okay. Yeah, I like that. That's more... Right, let's try the drums. Now, the only problem is it's starting to sound as if it's drifting away from the main style, which is that. So let me delete the drum because that sounds a bit too slow. Let's try it. Quantize. Okay, let's go and record the guitar, because the guitar will give you the drive to lead you into that. See what it sounds like. Okay, that's sounding a bit more like it. So now I'm going to go and record pad, and I'll put some strings in there. I'm going to pick the strings from the legacy section, as you well know. I like the strings in the legacy because they are more paddy-like, certainly on page 4. So strings, right, okay. Okay, now that's vastly too loud. So I'm just going to go in and change the volume of those. Now you're probably looking at this thinking, oh my God, this is a mammoth job. But bear in mind, I'm doing all of this in one hit. You normally sort of do a little bit and come away and then come back. And now that's nice. I'm hearing a little tinkly bell in my head. And no, it's not tinnitus. If I go to percussion, I want sort of... Hello, campers. Yeah, that's right. So let's try this. There we go. See, the bell worked. It was meant to be. You actually will get very, very used to finding what voices to use as you go through. A nice vibraphone. Okay, let's, for the purpose of this exercise, say this is done. This is now the next step that you need to make a note of, because if I just simply come out of here now and say save, let me just show you what will happen. Save here. Okay, yeah, right, saved. So now on the main keyboard itself, if I start with intro 1, listen to what happens to intro 1. It's not behaving. The way that the keyboard is trying to calculate where to move the chords is done through something called NTR and NTT, and on the keyboard I would recommend, if you're doing an intro with a melody, simply go in, and this is the golden ticket that everybody seems to want to know, go through every single phrase and turn the root, trans and bypass off on the left hand side. Okay, so let me just show you where we're going. So come out of there. So on the main style section, as you see here, I've got basic style record. Go to the bottom left hand menu, SFF edit, and choose NTR NTT. And you do this for every single phrase section. You see how you got phrase 2, phrase 1. If I tap there, they're changing. So go to phrase 2. Make sure all the arrows on the left are dark grey. Close. Go to phrase 1. Do the same. Pad. Do the same. And I'll tell you what will happen. So if you turn everything off, down, chord 1, bass, and then stop at bass. Don't change the drums. Then click save. Save here. OK. Yes. Right, now when I press my intro, it plays correctly. And if I play it in a different key, and the same rule for the intro applies to the ending. Sit and figure out a little melody that ends the song. So if you base it on the same principle as intro, you go to the NTT, NTR, turn everything off on the table. So again, let me just show you menu, and then you go on the screen to Style Creator, and it takes you to here. And the thing that you're looking for is SFF edit NTR NTT, but do not change it. You see on the screen it says rhythm 2. Go all the way to the right for phrase 2, then choose NTR NTT and make sure that the 2 arrows on the left hand side are dark grey. Can't go wrong then, because it will just follow the pattern and simply transpose into the key that you're playing. The one thing that your keyboard won't do is create major and minor intros. It's either going to be major or minor. You can't have the same tools that Yamaha use because it doesn't do it. Don't know why, actually, because it would be, I would have thought it would be relatively reasonably easy to do. But hey, right, so there you go. So we have, now we've got 3 variations and an intro. And that's how you create a style with the Yamaha SX900. It's so powerful. Like I say, practice is what you're going to have to do, because this is not going to come naturally to you. Certainly not. It doesn't come naturally to me. Let's come out there. Right, okay. So, yeah, so we've got, I mean, I've got other styles in here that I'm sort of working on. But that's the style that we've done. So, variation A. Your intro, if I want to play an E, say for example I want to play in what, G or F. The keyboard's clever enough to transpose all your note information into F. There are some exceptions to these rules, and that will be covered in another video that I'll do separately. But for the time being, this is enough to get you up and running and creating your own content. I hope this has been useful for members and for you, everybody really. I want this video to be seen because this is one of the most powerful features in this keyboard. And really, in my mind, it should be something that should be expanded and added to, because it just, the whole idea of having an arranger keyboard is to have styles, and buying styles at £12–15 a shot is, I mean, obviously a lot of time is spent doing them. But if you can have a go for a very basic style, why not? Why not have a go? I mean, you could be one of the next style creators out there. But with this sort of simple information, it gets you up and running and gets you off the mark. I hope you found this useful. I do realise that this has been a long video. It's 45 minutes. So I do apologise for the length, and I apologise for the 3 minutes of coughing during the video. But if you've got anything, feedback or anything you would like to leave, please leave a comment below. Remember, be nice. If you're going to leave an arsey comment, it'll just get deleted, so don't even bother. There are a few weirdos on YouTube where they have the need to... I don't know what they have the need for, but they need to go out more, that's for sure. Anyway, until next time, my dear friends, you look after yourself. Oh, by the way, if you are watching this on YouTube, make sure you subscribe. Please do it for me. It's only a little thing. It just helps me to get more videos seen. So until next time, look after yourself, take care, and all the very best.